Alrighty guys, if you're here for the 8-team playoff, I'm going to show you how that goes. I'm going to show you right now that we are right at conference championship week. And we've got these championships, so unlike if you watch the 4-team playoff, we are starting right back, right fresh from the start. But I'm going to also, just to be safe, I'm going to save one more time over the 8-team playoff. Going to save over that, make sure that we are at, right now, this is the file that we're going to load up. There's our 8-team, it's all saved and ready to go. And I'm going to dashboard, and then I will be back with you guys shortly. We will be over on my computer, and then we'll start the editing process. I'll show you, unlike the 14 playoff, a little more intricate the way you can do this. I'm going to show you the way that I would do it in terms of setting up the bowl matchups and all that. So I will be back with you guys shortly, and I'll see you then. Hello everybody, and we're back after taking our file from the Xbox. Now we're bringing it back here. If you have watched my video for the 14 playoff, it's gonna get a little repetitive talking over the stuff that I've got, how to open Modio and all that, because I'm gonna go really slow for the people who did not watch the 4 and skip to the 18 playoff. And unfortunately, I can't really do anything about that. I'm sorry, and hope that you will stick around and watch, because once we get into it, it'll be a lot more informative. But until then, it's gonna be kind of slow getting into the EAD editor and Modio and all that. For those of you who haven't watched, though, I'm going to explain right here what I've got. I've got this notepad here with all the information that I need to work out. So I sat here and I tried to figure out the best way to set this up. And this is about the best way that I think having teams lose their playoff or lose their bowl bids, and then having teams from those bowls who are going to lose their bid get to actual decent bowls at this point. So that's the way I've done it, and I'm going to explain what I've got here. So the way I'm thinking about when I set up an 18 playoff, I'm going to take the 6 AQ conferences who get their automatic bid. So they're automatically in the playoffs just for winning their conference. And that sucks, but that's the best way I can think of doing it. And then I have 2 wild cards. The first wild card is going to go to a team who is the best non-AQ conference, who is the highest ranked. So the way I'm thinking about it is, say Northern Illinois wins the MAC, they're ranked 16th, and that's higher than anybody else who's non-AQ. Northern Illinois would then get a bid. Then the second wild card is going to go to the highest ranked team. So say SEC had LSU and Bama from a few years back play each other, and they were both 1 and 2 in the championship game, and then say, or not in the championship game, but they played earlier in the season and they're both 1 and, or that's not a good example. Say Alabama played against Florida in the SEC championship game. Both were 1 and 2. Say Florida won and Bama just bumped down 1 spot to number 2. Say they flopped positions because of the win. Bama would still get a wild card because they are the highest ranked team who did not win a conference championship game. That's my rationale for that. So those are my 2 wild cards, how those work, and then the top AQ. What I've got down here where the bowls are, these are the bowls, how I'm going to set it up. So I've got right now the Cotton Bowl is set up to be the Midwest Regional Playoff. So however I set that up, that's the Midwest. The Capital One will be the South Regional, which is in Florida. So the way I'm thinking, Midwest Texas, South Florida. The Holiday Bowl, which is the West, will be in California. And then the closest East Bowl that I could think of was the Chick-Fil-A Bowl. And it kind of sucks, but that's the way it's got to be. Our East Regional will be in Georgia. So kind of 2 Southish games and then 1 Texas. So it's kind of all in that little Sun Belt area. But that's the best way I can think about setting it up. So that's where the regional playoffs are going to be. Those first 4 bowls. The second 4 bowls are bowls that I had to set up for the teams who are going to lose their bid. So teams in that, I think it was the BBVA Compass Bowl had the American against the SEC. I don't think it was the rest of the, I don't know. I know the Idaho Potato Bowl had the Mountain West Conference against the MAC. That was the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I think it might have been the Beef O'Brady's Bowl that had the Mountain West Conference and Conference USA. And then the Russell Athletic Bowl had the American against Conference UA. Those are the bowls. Those are the teams who are going to lose their bowl bids. Unfortunately, it's the way the cookie crumbles. That's how I've set it up. And then to replace those, I put the teams who are in the Chick-fil-A, Cotton, Capital One, and Holiday Bowl in the BBVA, the Russell Athletics, the Beef O'Brady, and the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, so that they would still have a bowl, so they don't lose their bowl and they still get to play a bowl game. So those are how those are set up. And then these last three, obviously the Sugar Bowl, which is in Louisiana, that's going to be our Eastern semifinal because that's probably the closest, so it wouldn't be in Florida again. And then the Rose Bowl, which is going to be in California again because that's the only BCS Bowl that's out west besides the Fiesta Bowl. So I thought that would be a better place for our first. And then obviously our national championship will be our finals game. So that's the way I've got it set up. All we've got to do is go in and edit our Dynasty file so it will resemble these changes. So let's get into that. So again, this is for the people who have not watched the 14 playoff. I'm sorry it's going to be a little longer, a little kind of slow, but bear with me. We're going to figure this out and we will go. So we've got Modio. We're going to double click on this. It'll be a little M, a blue circle with a white M in it. And I know for me, whenever I click it, my security system's like, oh, are you sure you want to run this? And I always say yes. I haven't figured out how to change this yet for at least Modio, but I'll figure it out eventually. For right now, it's just a minor inconvenience. But you double click that, it'll load up the Modio, which is this little guy, which will appear to your right. And as you can see, there's a little quick actions guy here, which has got 4 links that you can click. The open a save, open from a device, explore a device, and then download a game save. The only one that we are pertained and worried about is this open from a device. Okay, so you have to have your USB plugged in with the Dynasty file so that you can click this open from a device. So I'm going to click that right now, and right now it opens a device. So right now this flash drive has files from my little brother's account, gamertag I mean, and then my gamertag. So I know I've clicked before, his is the first gamer tag, mine is the second. So basically, you know, just click and choose, see which one has the NCAA full files. I know this one does, this is mine, so I'm going to double click on that, and there it is. It'll look like this for the NCAA files. I'm going to double click it again, and right here, you can see, here are our Dynasty files. So we had the 14 playoff, the 18 playoff, and then my profile. The one we're concerned about is the 18 playoff, so we're going to double click that, and it'll start getting a file like so. Once it opens, here we go. We've got this Modio file right now that has everything open. It's got a bunch of buttons, all cool stuff. Only thing we're worried about is this File Contents tab. We're going to click on that, and all it has right here is our file. So I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to extract the file, okay? So if I click extract the file, it's right here. So here I've got some other things. I've got the 14 playoff I worked on, test file that I used before I started recording, and the 18, which I already downloaded, okay? It's going to overwrite this file right here, not the database file, but the actual type file. So if I click save, for me it's going to ask if I replaced. If you haven't already extracted it, it'll just save and you'll be good to go. For me, I'm extracting it to a place that I know. I've got my NCAA folder right here, and I've got a little Test Dynasty folder right there to keep everything so they're all in the same place. So I'm going to replace it. And now we're done with Modio. Modio is done and all over. So we can click off of that. We don't need to worry about it. And now we just got to go to this EADB editor. I'm going to double click on this. And when you first come up, it's just this box and it's all grayed out here. Don't worry about it. It's because it doesn't know what we're editing yet. So we're going to load the configuration file to tell it what game we are editing on. So I'm going to go to the NCAA playoff folder. And I've got these 2 files which came when you downloaded that whole EADB editor pack or whatever and extracted it. So right here we got the Zan's NCAA 14 Dynasty configuration. This is the one that we want to load up, the configuration, so it knows we're editing a Dynasty. This will take about maybe 10-15 seconds for it to load up. And then once it loads up, it'll be blank. So don't fear, don't think anything's wrong, but it's just blank for the time being like this. So you see there's all these tabs you can click on, but there's no data in it. That's because we haven't loaded our Dynasty yet. So we're going to load up our Dynasty file. So we've loaded the configuration. Now we've got to go to open, which is right here. You'll click this, go to your folder where you have your files. And you may freak out a bit, but no, it's all right. There's nothing here right now because it is only looking for a certain file. We got to go to this drop-down menu, and we got to go to this All tab. Once we click that, it shows everything that we need to be worried about. We want to click on the file that we just extracted, this 8-team Dynasty file. We're going to double-click it, and then it'll start to load. This may take a minute or two to load, so I'm going to cut it out, and once it loads, we'll be good to go. Alrighty, so our file has finally loaded. Took a little bit. It's got all these tabs that we can worry about, player info and all that. We don't have to worry about that. What we've got to go is this Places tab right here. This is what we're concerned with for the time being. So we're going to organize our bowl names so they're in alphabetical order, so it's a little easier to find. So the first thing we're going to edit the BBVA Compass Bowl, okay? So we'll go down to where that is. It's double B right there. This BBVA Compass Bowl. So we're going to change the teams that are in the BBVA Compass Bowl. So let us click right here. So right now we need to make this the SEC's 5th, like so. And then you need to double click where the American is, because we're going to change who is in this game. So we've got to change it to the ACC, which is the first one. We got to make this the ACC's 2nd best team. So there we go. We're done editing. That's how you do that. The SEC's 5th against the ACC's 2nd, which is what we've got here. Done with that. Our next bowl we're going to go to is the Beef O'Brady's Bowl. So right here, we've got to change this to the Americans' 3rd, or the Americans' 2nd. So we'll click 2 right there. If you double click the number, that's where you can change it. And now we got to change the conference again. So we got the American, and we're going to change this to the ACC again, which is the first one. And this will be the ACC's 3rd. Alrighty, that is all set. We have changed that. Now let us go to our first regional. We will go to the Capital One Bowl. So a fun thing you can do. This is aesthetically, doesn't really do much, doesn't really change anything in the game, but it just changes the way it looks. We're going to change the name of the bowl. We're going to change this to our South Regional Playoff. So we're going to type that in, South Regional Playoff. There we go. So the South region is made. And now it is in the Capital One Bowl, and now we got to change the teams who are in here. So as you can see right here in our South, we are picking the teams that we want to lose their bid. So we're going to go first to the Big Ten, we change this to American, and we're going to change this to the 5th best team in the American. Alrighty. Now we're going to change this to the Conference USA, like so. Now we're going to change this to the 5th best team in the Conference USA. So there we go. Now we've got a South Regional Playoff all made. It's got a bowl and everything set to go. Our next one we'll do is right underneath it, the Chick-Fil-A Bowl. So same thing, we're going to change this, and this is going to be our East Regional Playoff. There we go. That is all saved, and now we've got to change the teams in this. So in our Eastern, we have the SEC's 9th, so we're just going to go right here and change this, the 9th. We got to change this ACC to an American, and we got to make this the 4th best team in the American. There we go. The East is now set. Now let us scroll down a little bit, and our next bowl that we have to edit is this famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Or wait, did we miss the cotton? Oh wait, yes we did. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up a little bit because I always forget it's AT&T Cotton Bowl. Not anymore because we're changing the name. So this is going to be our Midwest Regional Playoff. Alrighty, that's all set, and now let us fix the teams who are in here. So this one, we have to make this the Mountain West 5th best team, and we have to make this Conference USA's 4th best team. Yep, and it's already set, so there we go. The Midwest Playoff is all set. So we've got 3 of our 4 regionals all set to go. Now we're going to go scroll down to this Idaho Famous Potato Bowl, and we're going to change the teams in this bowl. So this one, we need to make this the Pac-12. We need to make this the 3rd best team. And we're going to make this the Big 12. And their 4th best team. Like so. There we go. The Idaho Famous Potato Bowl is set. Now we need to go down to our next one will be the Holiday Bowl, I think, which is right here. We need to change this to the Mountain West's right there. We need to make this their 6th best team. And the MAC, the Mid-American Conference's 3rd best team. Alrighty, so now the Holiday Bowl is set. Now our final thing that we have to edit, I think, is the Russell Athletics Bowl. Is it Russell Athletic or Russell Athletics? Not just a Russell Athletic. So we're going to change this. Oh, this is already set. Maybe this isn't one that I already had to edit. We're going to organize this really quick. Oh, that's what I did wrong. This has to be, in the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, it has to be the Big Ten number 2 against the SEC number 2. All the way down here, number 2. Alrighty. And then Russell Athletics should be set already. Here we go. I think what I didn't edit is the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, because this doesn't have a 2 over here. So I'm going to make the Chick-Fil-a Bowl 2. And this one, 3, I think is what it was. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 for the Big 12, right? Yes. So we're going to make this 5. Okay. Again, we're editing the matchups a little bit, and we'll go back through and make sure everybody's got everything all set up for their bowls. Just making sure we're doing a little damage control here. Alrighty, this kind of went a little disjointed. I thought this was a little more set, but basically the only things that we do need to worry about, because messing up the bowl bids isn't bad, because the teams are still going to get in their games, and it's not going to mess with your file. The only thing that's going to mess up, or the only thing that we need to concern ourselves with, is that our others are all set the way they need to be. So we need to have, where is our, oh yeah, because they're in different names now. We got to check the BBVA, which is 5 and 2. Okay, we're done with that. Beef O'Brady's, which is 2 and 2. Yep. The, let's see, famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Well, first we'll check the East, which is 4 and 9. American and SEC. Yep. Famous Idaho Potato, which is 3 and 4. Pac-12, Big 12. Yep. Our next one is going to be the Midwest, which is 4 and 5 for Conference USA and Mountain West. Check. Now we have to check the South, or no, Russell Athletic, which is 3 and 2, American and AACC. Check. And then we got the South, which is 5 and 5. Yep. And then our West, which is not here. I didn't touch the West, did I? Or did I not rename it? Swore I did. Do we still have the Holiday Bowl? Yep, I just did not rename it. So there we go. West Regional Playoff. And now I'll organize the bowls by their names. There it is. 6 and 3. Yep. Alrighty, there we go. So we've got the bowls all set up. So that should work. Now that should make our bowls all set. And we should be good. Let's see, games or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think we need to edit anything else though in our data, because this is just setting up who goes to which bowl. So now I'm going to go through the part of the video where we go through, we save our file that we've edited, put it back on our flash drive, and put it through. Again, if this is slow for the people who've seen the 4tab, I'm sorry, but that's what we got to do. So we're going to go down here, we're going to click this save button right here. It's going to do a little spinny thing, show you that it's saving. And as soon as it's done saving, boom, it'll pop up with this little pop-up thing and say, done. Once it's done, we can exit out of our Dynasty, our little EADB editor. And now we have to go back to Modio. So we're going to bring these back up. And right there, this is where you need to be. So we've saved our file, but now we've got to fix this file. So we're going to go right-click it, and it'll be this second option, which is replace the file. We're going to click that. It'll load up a little bit, and it'll try and find a file. Here we go. So you want to click on the actual file type, not the database file type, but the file type. Okay? So you'll click on this one, and you'll open it, and it'll replace the file. It'll take a little bit, maybe like 10 seconds or so for it to fix up, but once you can start hovering over that and the color changes, you can click on it, and there you go. All you have to do now, you click this Save to Device, okay? You'll click this button right here, and it'll bring up where your gamer tags are again. Remember, mine's the second one, so I'm going to click on that. Once I click on this and click Select, it'll start saving the file, and you'll know when it's okay to exit out of Modio when this lower left-hand thing changes. This where it says NCAA 14 Football, okay? So I'm going to do it really quick. I'm going to double-click. It'll start saving. Once this thing says Saved to Device, and it flips back to NCAA 14 Football, you know it is completely saved. And there you go. You know it's done, and you can exit out of Modio. You're done with Modio. Alrighty, now you're done with that. All you have to do now is eject your flash drive. Don't know if you need to do this, but I do this to be 100% safe that I'm not messing up with any of my files. So I right click and I click the eject my travel USB, and as soon as it gives me the green light to eject this, we will be good to go. There we go. Safe to remove hardware. So I'll remove this, and we will be good to go. So I will see you guys back in a hot second on the Xbox, and I'll show you what we need to do there for our next step. Alrighty guys, so we've got our Dynasty file set up, so we're going to go in there, we're going to go to NCAA Football 14, going to go into this guy, and then we're going to load up the file. So, the things that we could encounter, if you go to your Dynasty file and it says corrupted, that means you did something wrong along the way. Probably there isn't much you could have done wrong. If you went and tried to edit something else outside of what we edited in the video, then you may have a file that gets corrupted. May not happen, but we'll see. I know mine should be fine, and if we go there, we should be able to load up the file, and then we should be able to go from there, and we'll advance to after the conference championship, and then you advance to bowl season, no further than bowl season. Okay, so we'll go, and we want to play off our memory unit because this is where our files are. We got to play off the memory unit, and that way, when we save, it'll just save right over that, and it'll keep being the file that is on our memory unit. So, we're going to go and fix this right now. We'll go down to our Dynasty file, and we need to go to the one that says bye week. This is the one that we did, that's the 14, so this is our 18. We're going to load up our 18 playoff. It'll load up right here. There we go. And alright, so everything should be good to go. We're going to go and we're going to advance to bowl season, okay? So we're going to do that right now. Ready, go. So we're advancing to bowl season, past conference championship. And I'm also going to bring up my notepad on my computer. You won't be able to see this, but I'm going to write down the teams that will be in the playoffs from what I've got gathered together. And we're also going to check if the Bulls are all set. Should be third in the Pac-12, is in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I think Arizona might be in the Idaho famous Potato Bowl, if I do remember correctly, because I think when I did this for the 14, we went to the Holiday Bowl. Oh no, we went to the Sun Bowl. Huh. Alrighty, so we'll see where we stand. No idea how this is going to go, but we will figure it out when we hit that bridge. And we are going to... There we go. We're going to Sun Bowl still. Okay. That didn't really matter. Just something I thought was cool. There we go. Facing off against Georgia Tech, and let us see if our Bulls are all set. So if we go to this Bowl Games tab, there we go. We've got Washington against Texas, which is our 3 against 4 in that bowl. The Beef O'Brady's. We've got Alabama against Michigan State. There we go. It shows our changes. They are definitely set. And there we go. You can see the first one. It says the West Regional Playoff, which is going to be in the Holiday Bowl. There's that. The West Regional Holiday Bowl. There's our East. It'll be the Chick-Fil-A Bowl, which is Auburn against UCF. We've got our South Regional Playoff, which is Southern Miss against Ohio in the Capital One Bowl. Is that how we had it? Or did we not change the Capital One Bowl? Oh, no, yeah, we did, because it's supposed to have crappy teams in the bowl. That's what I think. Yeah. It just threw me off because I saw the Auburn in the regional. But yeah, we've got the Max third against... Is that what it is? No. Conference USA's fourth against Mountain West fifth. So I don't think the Mountain West had a team to field for that. And there's our Midwest, which is the Cotton Bowl, which is Marshall against Colorado State. Awesome. So that all hold. Everybody should be set. What's the other one? The Russell Athletics Bowl. I don't think I went and checked to see if the teams are set there. Yep, we got Florida against Clemson. Perfect. Should be 3 against 2. 3 against 2. Maybe I accidentally left that SEC. Didn't matter. Idaho Famous Potato Bowl, which we already seen. BBVA Compass Bowl, which we got Florida State against Illinois. Perfect. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, I guess teams just didn't field their teams right. Alrighty. So there we go. That's all set up. Those are going to be the teams that lose their bowl bids, if I remember correctly. BBVA Compass Bowl. Oh yeah, because this one didn't have... This is the ACC's second against the SEC's fifth. So they're not going to lose their bowl. Marshall, Colorado State are going to lose their bowl bid. Southern Miss, Ohio are going to lose their bowl bid. Auburn, UCF are going to lose their bowl bid, unfortunately. That actually really sucks. They had great seasons. And then Northern Illinois, who went 10-2, is going to lose a bowl bid, as well as Georgia, who's 7-5. Let us see now our conference champions. So let's start out the ACC. For the ACC, our winner, I'm assuming, is Miami, who is #1 in the nation. So we got Miami Hurricanes. Miami's going to be the ACC representative. Louisville for the American Athletic. I'm going to put their ranking to the side of them, so when you come back to my computer, when I bring that up, you'll see where everybody is ranked. Big 12, we've got Baylor, who has won the conference, and they are this is the thing that makes me really excited about it, because look, Baylor is the 22nd ranked team in the nation, but because they won their conference, they're going, because the Big 12 had a down year, it looks like. There was not a lot of breathing room for the Big 12, so that's actually really exciting. Ohio State, I think, won the Big 10. I'll check that when I go back out. But we've got Ohio State, who is a 9 seed, or not a 9 seed, but the 9th team ranked overall. Our next one, we don't care about Conference USA. We'll look at all those lower tier ones in a bit. We got the UCLA Bruins winning the Pac-12, and they're 3rd in the nation. And then in the SEC, we have Texas A&M. I think this is pretty much the same as the last time. Texas A&M's 2 in the Mountain West, is it? Did Boise State win that? Yeah, and they're 4th. Okay. So we're going to go to the rankings, and we're just going to check. I think Boise State easily won that because they're number 4. So I'm going to put Boise State down. Boise State, they're the 4th best team in the nation. There we go. And then it looks like Virginia Tech is going to be our other wild card, because they are the highest team who did not win their conference. That's really exciting. And they didn't play in their conference championship game. Clemson was the team. So Clemson looks like they got shafted, and they will not be getting into the playoffs after having a 10-2 season and barely losing to Miami. And neither did Bama. Bama losing to Missouri. They had a shot at it. They could have won the SEC. Wait, so did Missouri win the SEC? Or did Texas A&M? We gotta check the conference champions now. Because now I'm confused. Because the conference standings, of course. Because if Texas A&M didn't win their conference, then there's no way they can... Let's see. How do I see... Oh, I can just go to the scores. I'm going to go to scores and schedules. I'm going to look at last week. Here we go. Missouri wins the SEC, not Texas A&M. So we're going to put Mizzou. They are 11th. Stealing a bit away from the SEC and Alabama. Boise State won there, so they're in. UCLA won, they're in. Miami won, they're in. Ohio State won. I think that's what I got. And then the Big 12 doesn't have a championship game, so Baylor won that. And neither does Louisville, so they won theirs. Okay. So that means our second wild card is then going to be Texas A&M. And that's how we've got it set up. So I think the way we're going to do it is we're going to see them by how high they're ranked. So there's what we've got. We've got our teams all set up. The way we're going to have it go about, we've got who's going to be where. So we're going to go again, and we're going to save our Dynasty file once more. We're going to save the 18 playoff right over on the flash drive. We're going to save it. Saving on our memory unit. And as soon as it's done, we're going to go to dashboard. I think we're good. Yep. We're going to go to the dashboard. And I'm going to take out my flash drive, and I'll see you guys back on my computer here shortly. And we'll be going, and I'll show you the editing for that final part.